This is Uncovering Sports. Welcome to Uncovering Sports. I am Cactus Hamilton Barrett. The Olympian Brendan Coleman is actually in South Korea at the Olympics. So we're going to conference him in right now and see if we can get an update from Pyeongchang. Brendan, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. What's going on in the background?
You know what? The United States just beat Slovakia 5-1 in hockey. It's a big moment for America, let me tell you.
That's pretty exciting.
It is. Best sport, won by the best country.
Glad you're getting to take in a game or two while you're over there.
Yeah, this is strictly business, though. I want to make that clear.
Sure. I'm sure. Keeping it professional.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so what do you got for us then?
Well, aside from hockey, have you heard the news about the Russian curling team?
How could I miss it?
You know what? I feel like we warned them. They kind of deserve this one.
Give us the scoop on it.
I hope you're sitting down, but one of the Russian curlers tested positive.
What? Are you
I
joking?
know. The Olympic athletes of Russia have been caught doping.
But I thought Russia was the problem, not their athletes.
You know what? I thought that too. Apparently we were all wrong.
Who dopes in curling? What kind of advantage do you gain?
Precision. I don't know.
Sweep harder and faster?
Seems like the worst sport to cheat in.
I just imagine that he's like out there sweeping so hard he's like melting the ice or something.
Well, you know what? Kirstie Alley would appreciate curling a lot more when those guys are out there. In case you missed that, she believes that curling is very boring.
Well, I believe she's very boring.
Well, so does the men's curling team.
Amen to them.
You know what? I love cheers, so...
She's not Sam and she's not Diane, so I don't care.
That's true. No one can ever replace Diane.
So the Olympic athletes from Russia are caught doping. Nobody is surprised by that, I don't think. Got any hot snowboard news or anything?
Well, Shaun White won the gold. I'm sure you saw that.
I did. That's one for America.
One for America. One of not very many for America, by the way. Actually on pace for maybe the fewest medals in 20 plus years.
Jeez. Really?
Yeah, I thought we'd be booked a little stronger than that.
I know. All things considered, America usually gets booked pretty well in the Olympics. I mean, our listeners know, if they listen to last week's episode, which is all about how the Olympics is put together and booked every year. If you didn't listen to it, our episode last week, I really recommend checking it out. But we're not sticking to the same old script this year, it seems like.
Yeah, I wonder why that could be. Do you think maybe our current leadership has affected our Olympic standings?
I'd hazard to guess that it's got to have something to do with it, right? He's not even there. Like, all the world leaders were there for the opening ceremonies, and he sent Pence, who probably walked out on it.
Yeah, and now we're paying the price.
We're not bringing home the golds. They're even losing in figure skating.
I know.
If America can't win in figure skating, what are we supposed to do in the Winter Olympics?
I don't know. I think we need to figure out what Brian Boitano would do right about now.
That's who we need.
He's the hero we need, but not the hero we deserve.
The Japanese figure skating team, I believe, took home both the gold and the silver medals. Am I right about that?
That is correct.
There's something about figure skating in Japan that's huge right now. You're closer than I am.
Yeah, I think anime has actually contributed to this big figure skating boom in Japan.
Really? Anime?
That's what I'm told. I'm no expert. That's what the word on the street is around here. And that's what I'm doing here. Got my ear to the ground.
You got any other big news from over there?
Hang on, a fight just broke out over here.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to leave you to it then.
All right, I'll be in touch.
All right. Thanks for that. That's Brendan Coleman, our senior analyst and usual co-host over in Pyeongchang for the 2018 Winter Olympics. Now, let's change gears for a bit. NFL news has been a little slow as of late, as it tends to be after the Super Bowl. We don't have much more than free agency rumors simmering beneath the surface that won't bubble up and become big storylines until sometime next month. In the meantime, though, baseball season is just beginning. Spring training is going on in the South right now, in Florida and Arizona, as the MLB gears up for what looks like another exciting season of America's pastime. The MLB has been one of the most exciting and unpredictable leagues to watch in recent memory, due to their ability to make new stars, tell bold, dramatic stories, and keep competition fresh across the league. They've done a great job building teams up over the past several years so that every year is a completely unexpected experience. We've seen the Giants build a dynasty. We've seen the Astros win their first, and we've seen the Chicago Cubs break the longest drought in championship history. I'm excited to see where this one's going, as they've done a lot of shuffling around of players this offseason to keep everybody guessing. We're going to be talking about a lot more baseball as we move into the season, including how it all really works. So stay tuned for that. Now let's move on to the big topic of the day. We told you we were going to be talking about it last week. It's the XFL. Yes, that's right. If you've been listening, you know that we have decided to take the XFL into our own hands because we think we can do it better, faster, and stronger than Vince can, and he needs all the help that he can get. So, this week we've taken the liberty of writing a rule book for the XFL. We've tried to base it as best on Vince's suggestions from his press conference last month as we can. We thought we better get it into his hands and see what he thinks. So, we've sent our senior analyst and usual co-host, Brendan Coleman, out to Stamford, Connecticut, where he should be standing by outside of Alpha Entertainment, ready to deliver the rulebook. Brendan, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me all right?
How is it out in Stanford?
It's pretty good. I made good time. It's not quite as cold as it was in Korea, and I'm just waiting to meet with Vince.
Do you have a meeting booked, or you just hoping to catch him?
Look, we're pretty good friends. I have his number. I don't know if I've mentioned that before, but he has been dodging my calls, so I'm working on it.
But you do have the rule book.
I have the rule book on me. He is going to be thrilled.
Awesome. Can you give the listeners a sneak peek?
You know what? I think you and I both know football pretty well, and we know the key to a good league is good quarterback play.
I think we can all agree with that.
That's right. We have gone to great lengths to protect quarterbacks here. They will really shine in this system. You're basically not allowed to breathe on them even.
I think, if anything, Roger Goodell would love that just as much as Vince.
You know what? Those guys aren't that different.
They're promoters.
They're promoters. You know, I took some of Vince's ideas here. He mentioned 40 men on the roster. That seems fine. We want him to feel like he contributed to this a little bit.
Make him feel like it was his idea.
Exactly.
I'm not sure how you even have enough with only 40 guys, but I'm sure he'll figure out a way.
One space-saving measure here. Kickers and punters? Why do you need both of those guys? They both kick. One guy does that.
Sure. And we'll source the special teams from backups.
Yeah, exactly. Special teams shouldn't even exist in this league.
That's true. Not exciting enough.
They're not exciting. And Vince likes excitement. He likes action. So what have we done? We've sped the game up a little bit. Halftime? Don't need it. That's his suggestion.
No halftime.
It's different. I'll give him that.
I'll be really curious to see how it pans out. Especially, like, where do you put the halftime show in the Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl?
The $1 Million Game. Excuse me.
Okay. I was confused there. We've got a list of penalties here, all of which are against the defense. I think that suits what Vince wants.
Offense shouldn't be allowed to commit penalties anyway, right? No one wants that. You want a high-scoring game.
Yeah, exactly. How are you going to score if you're moving backwards?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It should always be moving forwards. The defense is more of a formality in the XFL, if anything, right?
Yeah, they're there to put the offense over.
Exactly. They're there to make the offense look good, maybe deliver a couple big, if yet safe hits to, pop the crowd a little bit, and then get off the field so the other offense can come out.
And that's right. Safety is the key. We don't want any quarterbacks getting hurt.
None whatsoever. Well, that's great. And so that all of our listeners are aware, the rulebook in its entirety is going to be posted at uncoveringsports.com along with this episode. So if you want to check it out and read the entire XFL Rulebook, we invite you to. Just go over to uncoveringssports.com. If you have any thoughts on how you'd improve the XFL rules, why don't you tweet us at Uncovering Sport or Facebook us at Uncovering Sports on Facebook. And, there's still room for some adjustments, right?
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought up posting this on our website. I've got a special treat for you and all our listeners.
Oh?
I got my hands on the first official XFL document.
Really?
It is the XFL Code of Conduct.
No way. Are you at liberty to say how you got this?
I have sources. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. You've got the Code of Conduct. All right, give me, since I'm not there and I can't see it, give me some highlights.
All right. It kicks off with some substance use. Alcohol use prohibited.
Sure.
Should not be drank during games.
Okay. I mean, this seems like common sense. Vince did come down big on the whole substance use thing in the press conference. So I'm not surprised.
Yep. Recreational drug use not allowed, even if it's legal in your state.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. There's another section here. I can't tell what it says. We'll try to revisit that later.
Maybe we can get our forensics team on it.
We have a forensic team?
We have everything at Uncovering Sports.
There's some off-the-field conduct here.
Sure, naturally.
Domestic violence, the drill.
You gotta write all that
Like
stuff
that
in.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. He's made it pretty clear what his stance is there. Now, the interesting part of this, pre-game conduct. I mean, this thing goes on and on.
Oh boy. Just as I feared.
Let me tell you, I don't think Sean White could make it in the XFL. He does not honor this flag enough.
Okay, now I see what you mean when you say pre-game conduct.
Yeah.
I assume we're talking national anthem.
If only. Let me just give you a taste here.
Please.
All players are to attend and be present for any and all pre-game stadium ceremonies, including, but not limited to, flag raising, national anthem, America the Beautiful, the Pledge of Allegiance.
Really? Oh.
The Pledge. That might be making it into XFL games. And I tell you, the list goes on all the way down to encore performances of the national anthem.
The only in the XFL.
So, players beware.
And fans.
Be held to a very high standard. That's true. And beyond that, all employees of the XFL are going to be held to these standards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Don't get a food vendor job with them if you're looking for an easy, laid-back job.
Not if you don't want to sit through hours of pre-game ceremonies, it sounds like.
Vince has taken this very seriously. There's some speculation about if Johnny Manziel could make it here. He cannot. I have a feeling a few more players are being targeted by this as well.
It sounds like he's drawing a line in the sand.
Knocks a few players off of our draft coming up.
Well, that's good to know. And our draft is going to be coming up soon. We're still building our pool of players, right? And beginning next week, we're going to start announcing our picks for cities and mascots for the 8 teams of the XFL. And I guess we'll have to follow this new code of conduct going forward if that's what they're laying out for us.
All they've given us to work with, so we're going to use it.
Well, we'll have to, lean heavily on it. Well, obviously, get back here quickly and safely with that code of conduct in tow. We'll post that along with the rulebook to uncoveringssports.com, so all of our listeners can check that out as well. And we'll see you back here to help with more XFL coverage next week, won't we?
That's right. I'll be returning from my long trip, ready to bring all XFL fans some joy, something to look forward to.
Excellent. Well, thanks for the reporting. Out in Stamford, that's Brendan Coleman. That is our show this week, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We're at Uncovering Sport on Twitter and Uncovering Sports on Instagram and Facebook. Next week on the show, we're going to be expanding our MLB coverage a bit. We're going to dive into NFL free agency and, of course, bring you more of our fantasy XFL booking because Vince needs our help. Until then, on behalf of Brendan Coleman, who's out in the field, I'm Cactus Hamilton Barrett. Thanks for listening to Uncovering Sports.
Hang on, a fight just broke out over here.